Hey! I'm not muted anymore. What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, Josiah? What do you mean, no? I'm here, you nerd. Chad. Say hi, Chad.
Hello, I am Chad. Where's the camera? That may have been a head that just appeared, or it may have just been hair.
Oh, man. It's been like forever since I streamed on a Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, this is my new set. I live in a new place now. That's why I haven't streamed in 2 weeks.
I will leave y'all so I can go be antisocial.
Cool. Everyone Chad, say hi. Say hi to Chad.
Did I actually appear that time? Nope.
There you are.
Oh, wait.
I'm just on the delay.
Oh, okay. That was, like, really weird.
But yeah, when you guys hear music in the background, that's the Chad.
Yeah.
Chad is the music meister.
I wouldn't go that far, but
See you, man.
at least the music bachelor. I have the maybe not the Meister.
We'll get you a whole like music meister cosplay. Let me close it real quick.
Oh, that's right.
Ugh.
Patrick Harris, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Animated show.
Yeah, he's like Neil Patrick Harris in Batman Brave and the Bold. Hey, what's good, Arcus? Hey, bro. Last stream you said Jason Aaron is extremely hit or miss. I'm curious as to which runs hit and which ones miss. Chad wants to do his own thing, but I feel like so it's not like consistent runs for me. It's more like, I don't know. The runs start out really cool, and he has like cool ideas, and I feel like they just don't go anywhere super interesting, or they go places that I don't think are interesting, and then they just kind of like fizzle out. Case in point, like the big one is his Thor. Because I haven't read Scalped. Everyone praises Scalped. I haven't read that yet. Hey, what's up, Tevya? And I haven't read, well, no, I did read his Punisher. That's another one where I think it started off. Really, his Punisher, I think is good. It's just not what I want from Punisher Max Punisher. Like, that's cool, but don't put it. I don't want that as like Garth Ennis's Max Punisher. Like, make your own Max Punisher. That's how I feel about Jason Aaron's Punisher Max. So that's what I mean when I say he's hit or miss. Like, he's either doing cool stuff but not in a context that I like, or he starts off really good and then like kind of just loses steam and then becomes very like Twitter baity. Not as bad as Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor is like the queen of writing for the Twitter posts. But Jason Aaron just he sort of like interjects. I feel like he not as bad as Dan Slott, but he does write for Twitter in like a kind of a spiteful way when he's doing superhero stuff. And I feel like the books that he writes sort of suffers because of it. But I don't know. We'll see what Superman yields. You know, he's got like 3 issues for Action Comics. That's a mini arc right there. So you know, I'll wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see. because I don't know, I think it could be something really cool. Let's see, Chad's not my sidekick. Have you should see the height difference between us. If anything, I'm Robin. Which would be cool because I like being Robin. Robin's awesome. I loved Robin as a kid. Maybe it's like a Joel Schumacher Batman thing. Where just like I grew up in that era where Joel Schumacher's Batman was like movie Batman when I was like in first and second grade, but well, those movies came out considerably before I hit like first and second grade, but up until Batman Begins, that was cinematic Batman, and I always thought Robin was like considerably cooler than Batman in those movies. So I don't know, I love Robin because of that. We all did. If you're like dancing between like your mid-20s and your like early 30s, do you feel the same way? Did you have that thing where growing up you thought Robin was cooler because, you know, the Chris O'Donnell Robin was cool? I thought Robin was cool because of those movies. That's why I love Robin. And also Eminem dressing up as Robin made him really cool. Probably shouldn't have been listening to Eminem as a kid, but I don't know. That turned out alright, I guess. Not really. How you doing, Supreme? How you doing, Tevia? What'd you guys read this week? Question, did you read Beast World this week? I didn't read Beast World. I did read Action Comics, though. Which was, kind of weird. Because I haven't been keeping up with the book since the beginning of the Metallo arc, just because I started reading all my comics in trade, but it felt anticlimactic, but that's me showing up not having consistently read this comic since when? What was the last thing I remember from Action Comics? I think it's when John Corbin starts to become more lucid, and the super family, they pull Metallo out of that the psychic funk, and then it's revealed that his sister is also a Metallo. That's the last issue that I read of Action Comics. So it's been a considerable amount of time, but I don't know. Everyone at the comic shop was like, "This is a great conclusion to the book." So I guess it's cool. I don't know. I'll wait and see when I read it in trade. But actually, the books I got this week, these are just 3 of them. I actually got like a couple more from another comic shop that I am considerably closer to. Not considerably closer to, but just it's closer to my job, so I go there on my lunch break. But the ones I picked up today, because I realized I had to stream today, were Timeless #1, which kind of confuses me because I thought like Timeless already came out like last year. I don't know how Marvel schedules things. I picked up World's Finest #22. I got this really sick cover. It has the Kingdom Come Justice League on it. This Aquaman continues to be like just absolute pure aqua sex. Could have phrased that better. But yeah, it's a really cool Aquaman design. I love the Flash design in Kingdom Come. I mean, I've said this before. I'm not the biggest Kingdom Come guy. I don't like Kingdom Come that much, but a lot of the designs I think are really dope. Especially this robot Batman. I call him RoboCop Batman. God, how did this costume not wind up in Arkham Knight? We got like 3 Thomas Wayne suits, but not the Kingdom Come Come on, dude. Rocksteady, come on, bro. maybe you get to put different costumes on the Justice League before you murder them in Suicide Squad. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, but yeah, World's Finest 22 has also been just consistently good. And you got Green Arrow #7. This is the beginning of the ongoing title for Green Arrow. Because this started off as like a 6-issue miniseries, and I know like everyone on the internet was like, well, not everyone. It's like the 5 Green Arrow fans, not including myself. I wasn't bitching because I was just happy to get Green Arrow again, but you know, everyone's like, it's only a miniseries. Well, issue 7. Boom, there you go. It's almost like if you support books that you like, a miniseries turns into an ongoing. Crazy how that happens. But I got the Chris Samney cover because Chris Samney is a beast. He's a beast. He's a dog. He's a motherfucking goblin. Okay, you're a goon. Well, what is a goon? Actually, I'm going to see if anyone in chat knows the rest of the lyrics. Or if you just know the song. Anyone know the song I'm quoting? You get 10 no prize points. I don't know. You get something. I'll figure something out. You get next pick of what game I'm gonna do after Spider-Man 2. Oh, what's up, Ziggy? Ziggy! Wait, no. That's Elton John. But, no. Old British guys. Well, actually, I'm curious. I keep wanting to type in Elton John. No, it's not Elton. Fucking Ziggy Stardust. David Bowie. David Bowie, British? If so, why does he look American? He is English. See, I'm not far off. Tom Taylor writing Adventures of Superman. John Kent broke me. Oh man, I was broken far before that book hit the shelves. But yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Have you read his Wolverine or Wolverine in the X-Men run? You know, okay, I did read his Wolverine in the X-Men run. Jason Aaron's Wolverine in the X-Men was really good. I thought that was really good. I don't know why I thought that was Tom Taylor, but you're right, that is Jason Aaron, and I like that a lot. That is one of the books that does make me feel like Wolverine should retire the Wolverine mantle. That's a hot take. I might make that like one of the YouTube shorts to like boost my algorithm or whatever, but my whole hot take on the whole Wolverine thing, because I see so many people bitch about Laura Kinney becoming Wolverine, and how kind of mediocre that book was, and how it kind of degenerated into just like trash. But look, quality aside, I still think the idea of having Logan retire the Wolverine mantle and Laura pick up that mantle is a pretty good idea, you know? Because, like, think about it. For Logan, the name Wolverine, the iconography of that mantle, it doesn't represent anything positive for him. Logan sees Wolverine as like a weapon. Logan sees Wolverine as the tool that was used by governments and private entities to just murder people. But Laura's of a different generation. Laura is of the generation of mutants that grew up watching Wolverine and the X-Men save people. Laura is of the generation that sees Wolverine as a hero. So her taking on that mantle as Wolverine would be like a great honor. Whereas for Logan it would be like just unloading just decades of pain. He's like, get the shit off of me, I hate it. No, I don't want to be a weapon. You take this. I don't want it. So in that way, I totally buy Logan putting down the Wolverine mantle and then Laura picking it up and making it her own thing. I like that idea a lot. It's really good on paper. Execution wasn't there, but on paper it's really good. I'll say that. I personally love Tim Drake as Robin. Yeah, Tim Drake's really cool. You know, kinda. I just think Tim Drake's too old to be Robin still. I mean, you guys know me. Tim Drake's too old to be Robin. He's too old to be running around as Robin. That nigga's like 20. There should be an age limit on being Robin. You can't be a college student and be Robin. You have to choose. I loved Robin as a kid, and this is why the cops wouldn't leave you alone. Okay, my phrasing, no, you know what I meant. Nah. Do I look like Professor Pig to you? I hope anyone gets that reference. Any Grant Morrison Batman readers out there? Cheers to you. If you're not a Grant Morrison Batman reader, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Have you read Superman by Joshua Williamson? I read the first 3 issues. And I read part of the last issue where, like, apparently Superman got his crypto cheeks clapped and now he's, like, in a coma and Lois is reading him, like, Santa Claus letters. I read that one. It's a really good issue. That's also a series I'm just gonna, like, pick up and trade. I have too many long boxes. I cannot. It's too much. Too many. I was actually having this conversation with my buddy Troy earlier. There are just too many good comics coming out right now. So, look, I don't normally do this. I don't do this. I buy my books in trade paperback form where they're nice and compact and they can fit in a bookshelf. This whole floppy shit, I'm not used to it. But there's too many good books coming out right now. Contrary to what, your boy Zach or like Thinking Critical or Yellow Flash or any of the other comic book shock jocks would have you believe. Actually, comics are pretty good right now. And they've been good for a while. I don't know. Like, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man's dog shit, but like, I don't know, like, that's a sneak preview of my next video, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of negativity surrounding American comics, and a lot of it feels artificial at this point. Like it like a lot of these channels that started around like 2015, 2016, they were really onto something. Like there really was a quality control problem in comics like 6 or 7 years ago, but now y'all niggas reaching. Like there's no kind of like other nice way to put it. Just you're reaching. You're reaching around. Ooh, did you read this gay BL short story that was a backup in Action Comics? This is how you know it's woke. And it's like, well, first of all, BL is like one of the biggest like comic genres amongst the female demographic. So yeah, you'd actually be kind of DC would actually be pretty smart in chasing that market. But two, you're mad about like a 4-page backup in Action Comics, which is also like really good right now. All right. But I digress. I was a good citizen. I never robbed anyone. You say suspiciously. A good citizen would never have to say they never robbed anyone. Comparatively, you're right. Question: with the year coming to an end, I'm wondering if you have any plans of doing a top 10 best and worst of 2023. I do have something in mind. It probably won't come to fruition until January. But I do have a 2023 comics retrospective thing coming down the pipeline. I definitely do. Stay tuned. Warworld Saga. What I was talking about? Yeah, I read past Warworld Saga. I read up until the middle of that Metallo arc, with Cyborg Superman. I'm sad that Philip Kennedy Johnson is off Action Comics because his run was great, dude. It really was. This just happens with comics, unfortunately. It does. I hate it, but it does. It's normal. There's a really good run of something, and then they pull the rug out from under you, and they're like, "Oh, we got a new creative team." I don't know why they do that, but they do. Sometimes you get really cool stuff like Cy Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr.'s Flash. Like I really like the Jeremy Adams run on Flash, but so far the Cy Spurrier book has been everything I've ever wanted in a Flash book. So I like it. Supreme says, has Marvel always lived up to that motto of the world outside your window? Because look at the 80s, almost zero mention of AIDS and Contras. Isn't that weird? Kinda, but not really. It's only not weird because AIDS was such a taboo in the mid 80s to 90s. Yeah, actually really up to the 90s it was still taboo. But consider this. Ronald Reagan, who was president at the time, did not even acknowledge that AIDS existed. Which at the time I think it was called GRID. It wasn't even called AIDS yet. It was called GRID. But he didn't acknowledge that it existed. And just no one talked about it because it was considered the gay disease. And you're not supposed to talk about it because it's only affecting the gays. That's where America was. So people just... It doesn't strike me as weird. It does kind of, only in that Marvel was always kind of talked about as being the subversive one in comparison to DC, but I don't know. Even some of that I think is a little bullshit, if I'm gonna be honest. I think some of that legacy is a little bullshit. It might be a little exaggerated. A little bit. Just a tinge. Just a teensy wince. But I also feel like Marvel being the world outside your window, that hasn't been a thing since the 60s. I feel like Marvel starts off strong with the whole world outside your window bit. And then they just sort of, over the years, they just become DC Junior. It just happens. Another comic shop. Yeah, well, I live next to, well, I'm not going to tell you where I live now, but I'm not going to dox myself. But I do live, to a relatively close to a comic shop. It's like a 30-minute walk, which isn't bad for me. My girlfriend hates it. She grew up with like cars all her life, so she's like, just drive there, and I'm like, oh, why? Why drive when I can just walk 30 minutes? It's not that bad. But the other comic shop I go to is close to my job. They're also really good. I got excited, then remembered World's Finest hasn't been Robin and John in ages, if ever. It's not gonna be. That train has left the station. I think we are getting a Super Sons book though. Like another one is gonna be General Zod's son and Sinestro's son. So that's gonna happen. Cause mods. Shit! I scrolled too hard. There's a snake in my boot. Hey, someone got it. Yay. Lil Wayne. A milli. Actually, I wonder if I can get copyright stricken for that. Hope not. When are we gonna co-op Suicide Squad? Never. I'm not playing that shit. I'm not playing that. No. That game looks like trash. I'll play Warframe with you though. I think I still have Warframe on my PS4. Hey, I'll play that with you. I'm not playing Suicide Squad though. Fuck that. Green Arrow was good. Yeah, Green Arrow was really good. I like that book a lot. There are dozens of us. On Star Wars, if you want to have a legit grievance with Lucas, it sucks he never made the unaltered theatrical version of the original trilogy. Never widely. Yeah, that's. I understand being an auteur, and I understand saying, no, this is not your baby, this is my baby, I made this, so I get to say what version lives in the public eye and what doesn't. I get it. I do get it. However, there is a bit of erasing history in doing that. You are depriving, you're depriving people of, like, I don't want to call it literature. This is film, but like, yeah, you're depriving people of like art history in doing that. You're depriving people of culture in doing that. So I don't know. It becomes a real tricky bridge to cross, having that conversation. But at least, well, George Lucas is alive, and like I think he still has control over it. It's tricky. It's gonna be even trickier when he dies. But yeah, it's there are no easy answers to that. Arcus says, I still really like Chris O'Donnell as Robin. He brought sexy, rebellious energy without being edgy. Well, he was a little edgy. He had the right amount of sus. Oaf's hell, he made Robin work in live action, and Batman and Robin suit is just the GOAT. I like the Batman and Robin suit because it's the Nightwing suit. And they also kind of, well, it's not in this issue, but they bring it back in like issue 21. They say that like that's the suit that Dick wore before he became Red Robin. I think that's a really cool. It's a really cool bit of lore. I do still think that he's a bit too old to be Robin. Like I don't know. It worked as a kid because when you're a kid, anyone who's over the age of like 7 looks like an adult to you. So I didn't notice that there wasn't that big of an age gap between Chris O'Donnell and Val Kilmer. But the older I got, the more I was like, God damn, that is a man. That is not a boy wonder. That is a masculine surprise. You should have cast someone like, I don't know, Eddie Furlong or Leonardo DiCaprio even. He still looked, I mean, he was around Chris O'Donnell's age, but he still looked younger, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know, just cast someone who's not a freaking adult as Robin, please. Just that's where I'm coming from. If Jimmy Hudson was still around, then yes. Apparently Jimmy Hudson is still around. Apparently. I don't know where he is, but he does exist still, technically. He's like one of the few Ultimate Universe characters that like is still around. No one's doing anything with him, but he's still around. I love Laura as Wolverine. She was really awesome. Yeah, I get it. I love the idea of Laura as Wolverine. I thought the idea was awesome. But sometimes it's a situation of concept over execution. On legacy characters, one key component in order to make them work is to keep their predecessors dead or retired permanently. On the one hand, I agree. But on the other hand, there are cases where the predecessor isn't dead and it works. Like Jay Garrick is a major part of Mark Waid and Jeff Johns' run on the Flash during the Wally West era, and Jay Garrick he's semi-retired. Like he's retired. He's not the main Flash, but he has a pretty heavy presence in the book. He's like the wise sage, like Yoda figure throughout the 90s and 2000s. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I don't say they have to be dead. Trying to think of other cases. I mean, Green Arrow. You know, when Ollie came back from the dead in Quiver, I think. Yeah, that's the Kevin Smith one. Yeah, Quiver. With Phil Hester. Yeah, that was pretty cool. You had both Ollie and Connor running around as Green Arrow. Thought that was fine. I also didn't mind when Bruce and Dick were Batman simultaneously. A large part of that, and this gets into the whole thing of multiple superheroes with the same mantle running around at the same time. The big thing here is that you have to have each of those respective characters just doing different things. Like, I mean, and there are exceptions to the rule. I think in the case of The Flash, that's more like a family-oriented title. So, like, you got multiple members of the Flash family running around as the Flash. That's fine, because the Flash is like a Flash family. It's different. It's different. Green Arrow, it works because, unlike the Bat family, the Green Arrow family aren't like this prestigious well-oiled machine. It's kind of like the Gallaghers from Shameless. So I can totally... That's the best way that I can describe the Green Arrow family. Like, imagine the Bat family, but the Gallaghers from Shameless. That's the Arrow family. Oh, shit, that actually works too well. Goddamn. I mean, Ollie's... I mean, it's not like a... It's not completely like the Gallaghers. Like, Ollie's not like the... I can't remember the dad's name, but he's not morally, like, reprehensible, but they're all fucked. They're all a little fucked. But yeah, I don't know. They're uncoordinated enough to where I can totally buy that there's multiple green arrows and red arrows running around, and just they don't care. They don't have the fucks to give. I totally buy that. And it kind of works with Batman because Batman has that whole like urban myth. I'm the boogeyman to criminals everywhere around the world kind of thing. So I can totally be okay with there being like Dick Grayson as Batman, but also Bruce Wayne as Batman, and then you have like John Paul Valley running around as like the Batman of space or whatever the fuck, like when he was hanging out with Cyborg and Starfire and Justice League Odyssey. And then Bruce was like doing the whole, well, not at the same time, but Bruce was, he had Batman Incorporated, and Dick was the Batman that was protecting Gotham. I'm fine with stuff like that. The problem I run into is when you have like Peter Parker's Spider-Man, but Miles Morales is also Spider-Man. That's just like, and I know there's like 50 other Spider people in the 616 already, so just. That's too much for me, dog. just the two is too much for me. I don't like it. Look, if you're gonna have Miles running around as Spider-Man in New York City, have Peter Parker, like, I don't know, join the fucking Avengers or some shit, or like maybe he's not join the Avengers. Maybe he's just Spider-Man semi-retired. Like he's the Jay Garrick Spider-Man. But don't have them both at the same time being Spider-Man. That's weird. I don't like that. I think that's stupid. I'm trying to think of like other, like I don't like two Captain Americas. I have Sam be Captain America, or Bucky, or Steve, but do not have multiple Captain Americas. I do not like that. There should be one Captain of America. It should be Sam, or Steve, or, well, not Bucky. I don't really care about Bucky being Captain America, but like it should be either Sam or Steve. Don't have them both running around. I don't like that. Also, I really like the idea of Steve being the CEO of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever the fuck he was. It was like director or something. That was a cool status quo. And then we got rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. and now Steve is just Captain America again. Okay. But yeah, that's my thing. I think it varies character to character, but generally they don't have multiple legacy heroes running around with the same name. But if you are gonna have multiple heroes running around with the same name, have them doing different things. That's just where I'd come down on that. Ziggy says, my question then becomes, what does it mean to Laura, who was created solely to be Wolverine? All that pain she had to go through, and all the other clones were killed for her to become a Wolvert. There's an issue of X-23 where Laura does catch up with Logan, and she's trying to kill him, but they just have this like heart-to-heart in the woods. I feel like that's the moment where Laura's like, oh, I don't want to be a killer. I want to be like, I want to help people. I don't. I feel like that is like that was like a big turning point for that character, and that's where she sees Logan as like kind of like a hero. I mean, not a hero, but like you're not this like devil that like I have on my kill list. Where she like has to be like Oedipus, she has to kill her father. Question: do you believe Marvel should retire Logan's Wolverine similar to Peter Parker? Because I'd be fine with that. I think Wolverine has had. Well, I think Logan has had several points where it's been okay to retire him. I don't think Peter Parker's had that yet. Well, no, I take that back. Peter had it once in Clone Saga. Well, he actually had it twice in Clone Saga when he walks off in the hospital after I think NJ's discovers that she's pregnant. That would have been a good place to leave Peter Parker off. And then you get the end of Clone Saga where Norman kidnaps the baby, and we still don't know what the hell happened to that baby. We don't know what happened to Mayday. She's not dead. She's just in the Marvel Universe somewhere. We don't know what's going on, though. I don't know, but whatever. But that would have been a pretty good finale. In fact, I think that's a pretty good ending for Spider-Man. It's a dog shit ending because Clone Saga's dog shit, but like, as far as like having an ending point for a character, Peter embracing MJ as they're like looking over the Queensboro Bridge, and he's like, everything's gonna be okay. That's a good ending for Spider. You can just end the character right there. It's fine. And also up to that point, I think like a lot of the JMD Mateus stuff had already happened, so like most of Spider-Man supporting cast are dead. Like Flash Thompson, I think, is dead at that point, or not, maybe not dead, but he's like wounded. But he and Peter have that like heart to heart where he's like, I always picked on you because I thought that you thought of yourself as being superior to all of us. And then like a child within happens, and Harry becomes the Goblin and all that. So I don't know. I feel like that right there, just the 90s as a decade is a good ending for Spider-Man, and then we just keep going. But yeah, after that, Spider-Man hasn't really had a good like finale, I don't think. Whereas Wolverine has had several. You could have ended Wolverine at the end of Grant Morrison's run, where he discovers that he is Weapon X, or I mean, he knows he's Weapon X, but like when you find out that Weapon X literally means Weapon 10, I feel like you could have ended Wolverine with that. I feel like you could have ended Wolverine after House of M. I think you could have ended Wolverine with the death of Wolverine. I don't know. I think after you bring Logan back from the dead and he sees that Laura is the new Wolverine, you could have just had him go like, "It's your show now. This is all you. You're calling the shots. Have fun. You do you. I'm gonna do my thing over here as Logan." I think you could have done that, but they didn't do that. They just didn't do that. But yeah, Wolverine has had several recent points in time where you could have just ended him at any point in time, or not ended him, but like you could have had him walk away from the mantle at any time. So if you just did it now, I'd be cool with it. Maybe I should buy comics again. I mean, they're good again. Like, I don't know. I avoided those grifters that kill a Flash like the plague. Dude, avoid them. They're just chasing the algorithm at this point. But they're feeding a lot of bullshit to do it. Supreme says on Nightwing, I feel like it was a mistake to have him refolded back into the Bat Office in the 1990s. I feel like when he's with the Bat family, he's stuck in Bruce's shadow and he can never outshine Bruce. I definitely see that. I think a lot of that retroactively works because of Grant Morrison's run. And that's... Granted, I'm going to say that a lot when it comes to Batman-related problems for the 90s to 2000s decades. I think Grant Morrison does all... Like, I really feel like Grant Morrison deserves a lot of credit for, like, not only having probably the most iconic run on Batman in modern years, but it also did a lot of legwork in retroactively not fixing certain things, but making them better. So I don't mind some things that I, at face value, hate, like War Games. War Games is, in a vacuum, well, not just in a vacuum, just within continuity as well. War Games, I think, is slight character assassination of Batman. But once you consider Grant Morrison's run after the fact, like Bruce Wayne's, like, well, not just Grant Morrison, but also like Infinite Crisis, because Jeff Johns also should get a lot of credit for this as well. Once you consider that everything from A Death in the Family up through Infinite Crisis, an OMAC project, everything up until that point is just Bruce Wayne having a prolonged nervous breakdown while also suffering a midlife crisis. Once you look at it like that, a lot of the weird, out of character stuff is not that bad. It's like, oh, okay. Well, you know, we all have our moments. Bruce Wayne manipulated his adopted son's ex-girlfriend into taking his job and then dangling it in front of him like, oh, your girlfriend's in my Batcave now. It's not so bad when you consider that Bruce Wayne's just having a moment. We all have moments. You know, sometimes you just gotta eat a Snickers. For Bruce Wayne, it's, you know, you gotta go through the Buddhist Thoga ritual. Give me 1 second. BRB. Alright. I was gonna like conceal myself like drinking a whole liter of ginger ale, but actually I don't know. I'm already streaming. That counts for being shameless a little bit, right? I'm actually not gonna do this like next to the microphone. That'd be like super fizzy and gross. This is what I get for ordering a whole pizza for myself because I'm fat. Although you know what? I did walk a solid like 4 miles today, so I earned this pizza and soda. Yeah. All right. Where was I? Do you think Amazing Spider-Man is beyond saving? Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to like be callous. I mean, not really. No. Like, if we can get JMS out of everything that happened in the 90s, then yeah, all it takes is just one solid run to just start by saying, damn, what a crazy couple of years it's been. Anyways, moving on. That's all it takes. That's really all it takes. Have you been on a AO3? It's nothing but BL. Dude, yeah. It's super big. No pun intended. But well, yeah, no, like BL is like a major genre. I don't like everyone. Look, all right. I think aging John Kent up just inherently is a mistake. And you want to push it, but you want to push it as like being the hot bisexual son of Superman. All right, that's fine. It still feels a little weird because when I see John Kent, I don't see 19-year-old man. I see 10-year-old boy. But sure, whatever. That's just gonna be the result of them aging him up artificially, and it just feels weird. But once you get over that, yeah, no, it's fine, and it makes sense. Yeah, new character, they're LGBTQ, specifically a new male character, LGBTQ. Like, yeah, it's go for it. That's all. It makes sense. The problem is when it's just not written well. That's when it falls flat on its face. But when you write things well, they turn out pretty good. That backup with John Kent was so bad it proves my point that DC should DH him. Okay, but at this point, it would be weird if you de-aged him. It would. We're kind of seeing it now with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in the Suicide Squad game, where like Ivy is like 12 or 13 and Harley's like 40, and it's just weird. It's just very weird. It's just very weird. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. It's weird. On 2023, for me as a film fan, it's interesting that the franchise-driven IP films have mostly decayed into controversy and disinterest, and the more standalone auteur-driven films have been more popular. Dude, yes, I'm so glad that we're seeing that change right now. I said it on Twitter, but I watched The Killer for the first time today. The latest David Fincher movie. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, is it David Fincher? I'm gonna feel like such a blonde if it's not. Okay, it is David Fincher. All right, sweet. But yeah, I loved it. It's it's everything I want out of a movie right now. It's everything I want from a theatrical experience. It's really good. Yeah, dude, I'm down. I'm happy with it, and I want to see more movies like that. I want more movies like Oppenheimer to come out. You know, I want to see more movies. Like I mean, this doesn't come out this year, but I want to see more movies like Good Time. Yeah, with Robert Pattinson. That was really good. You know, I want to see more like director-driven, just not like art house movies, but just, you know, movies where you can tell it's not written by like a corporate boardroom. That's what I want. Those movies I want to see. Like El Conde. El Conde? Let's see. Yeah, El Conde. And I never finished that one because my girlfriend was like, she wasn't into it, but I was really getting into it. Like El Conde is really good. From what I've seen. I want to see more movies like that. I want to see more movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once. You know? Films that do take high concepts and still deliver them in like a profound, introspective way. Unlike the way they're being delivered by their IP-driven counterparts. That's what I want to see. I personally love Jeremy Adams' Flash Run. Yeah, no, it was really good. That was a great film. Not film. That was a great comic series. Crap. No! Oh, I scrolled and I fucked up. I done fucked up today, big boy. You have fucked up today. There we go. Question, why is it Marvel Comics want Peter Parker to suffer? You know what? I don't know. I feel like you're saying this now, but you might. I don't think you're gonna like Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man. I think everyone who's going into Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man expecting it to be Renew Your Vows 2.0, I think you guys are going to be sorely disappointed. I think you guys are going to be sorely disappointed. I think all this Meet the Parkers crap, that is the selling point. But what we're going to see is Peter splitting his family apart by being Spider-Man. I think that's what we're really going to see with this new Ultimate Spider-Man book. It would be funny if you see Paul show up. That'd be... No, they're probably not going to go that far. But I really do think we're going to see Peter and MJ, like, kind of... We're going to see Peter and MJ get a divorce. Because of Peter's actions as Spider-Man. I could totally see that happening. And I think it's going to be written very well. It's going to be drawn beautifully. But that's what we're going to see. it's not gonna be the comfy, cozy, Peter swings in after punching the Rhino with one punch and then making a quip and then tucking the kids in at night and banging MJ. We're not gonna get that. We're gonna get Peter showing up in the middle of the night. He missed his son's recital or something, and he's like got one eye just welded shut, and MJ's like, I can't do this anymore. No. This is not what I married. This is not who I married. This is not what I want. I think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get Animal Man, but the bad ending. Well, not the bad ending. The standard ending of Animal Man is his whole family dies. I feel like there's, I don't know. But you know what I meant. We're gonna get MJ taking the kids and leaving. That's what we're gonna get with that book. I can put money on it. Well, maybe not money on it, but I'll put something of value on it, like my time. If I'm wrong, I have to, I don't know, make several videos talking about how I love Dan Slott's run on Amazing Spider-Man and how I was wrong. I don't know, some shit. I'll do that. I'll do that for like a week. But I'm not wrong. You just watch. That's exactly what's gonna happen. I grew up the same way. 30-minute walk for us is rough. Yeah, you car having people. I didn't grow up with that. I grew up in the city. I walked everywhere. I just read a book on 1970s Marvel that argues that Jim Shooter made Marvel too corporate and polished in the 80s. Secret Wars is basically selling out. Do you agree? Yes and no. I agree that Jim Shooter made Marvel very corporate in that he structured everything. But I don't agree that Jim Shooter is the one that sold Marvel out. By the time Jim Shooter becomes editor, that had already happened. Like, Stan Lee did that. When Stan Lee was like, I think Stan Lee was the editor of Marvel Comics, and he was like doing interviews with Playboy, and he was showing up at the Marvel offices with like Playboy bunnies and hookers and all that shit, and he was doing these like Hollywood movie pitches with people and trying to get Marvel into like Hollywood. That's when Marvel sold out, and that was like around the early 70s. Which I think Jim Shooter becomes the editor in like the mid to late 70s. So no, by the time Jim Shooter became editor of Marvel Comics, Marvel had already sold out. So I don't put that blame on Jim. All Jim did was put specific characters in specific places, and he gave them like tiers. Like, okay, Spider-Man and Daredevil are like street level characters. Doctor Strange is like the mystic mumbo jumbo character. The Avengers are the world ending threat characters, and the cosmic characters. That's what Jim Shooter did. But all that stuff with like Secret Wars and all that was already coming down the pipeline. That was already a long time coming. So I don't blame Shooter for that. It's called Sinister Sons. Oh, the new Super Sons book. Yeah, Sinister Sons. Yeah, I'm not gonna get back into comics. Sinestro and Zoe, just not it. Oh, and Zod, yeah. I really want DC to DH John Kent. That's just not gonna happen, man. It's just gonna be. Will you react to the story to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? I mean, probably. Um, More often than not, I'm sure my girlfriend will get it because she likes, like Harley Quinn and the Suicide Squad. Or much rather, she liked the James Gunn movie Suicide Squad. But I don't know, probably not. I know Ziggy Gamma's gonna get it, so I might I'll just watch him play it. I'll go to his house and watch him play it. I mean, it's Lucas. He's the reason we have THX. That's true. It's true. Depriving people of cinematic history, yeah. I let Disney have control over Star Wars. Disney does, but it's still George. I think there's a weird clause where George Lucas is final say on a bunch of stuff, and but he's a very passive dude now because he's just broken. The white slavers at Disney broke George Lucas. I fucking love that phrase. George Lucas is he's a wordsmith. On Robin, how did the Gotham Police Department feel about the idea of Robin? The idea of Batman having a child partner? Because in their eyes, Batman is pretty much breaking several child labor laws and child care laws. Okay, so this is where the DC Universe makes a major departure from the real world in that, okay, so just within the context of the DC Universe, child sidekicks are not taboo. They're not. No matter how realistic Batman writers want to make Batman in continuity, the reality is, child sidekicks have been a thing in the DC Universe since the 1800s. Well, not 1800s, but since the dawn of heroes, which I consider to be Jonah Hex, whatever. But yeah, you got Starman and Star Spangled Kid and all that. You got the Golden Age heroes. They all have sidekicks. If you're living in a world where costume vigilantism is it's a commonality, and B, 50% of those heroes have sidekicks, I feel like the Gotham Police Department wouldn't really feel all that weird about it. I don't know. I feel like they just wouldn't think it's that weird. I don't think they should. I don't know. Does the Star City Police Department have a problem with Speedy? I don't see anyone at Central or Keystone City bitching about Kid Flash or Impulse, or I don't know. No one gives Superman shit about Supergirl or Superboy. So within the DC universe, just sidekicks in general, I don't think are a problem, and that applies to Batman as well. Question: why can't DC just have Connor Kent Superboy become Superman and DH John Kent? Well, to that second one, it'd be weird to DH John Kent at this point. But to the first one, I think it'd be really cool to have Connor become the main Superman. Kind of do the thing that Grant Morrison did with Batman, but you do that with Superman. You have Clark Kent go off and become the mythic cosmic Superman, where Connor steps up to the plate and he becomes, the Superman of Earth. I think that's a really cool idea. I would love to see someone do that. I don't know. I would like that. Arrow family is the Gallaghers. Yeah, that checks out. John Paul Batman eating rats in the sewer. Base John Paul Valley. He takes his rats to go in space. Ben Reilly is the Avengers Spider-Man. Can we just leave Ben Reilly and all those other clone motherfuckers to just rot? I don't want to think about this. I know there's like a devoted fan base for Ben Reilly and for Kane and all that, but I just want them to die and stay dead. I don't want them to be acknowledged. Just throw them in a memory hole somewhere. Do not acknowledge their existence. As far as I'm concerned, they are dead. It's done. Clone Saga's over. They gotta go. Why did we get rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. again? Because the Nazis, I guess. It was in Secret Empire. The Nazis. It's always the Nazis. The Nazis are the reason we can't have nice things. Toby's question: how would you have Miles Morales be, or Miles Morales, Spider-Man be the main Spider-Man in the main universe, while Peter Parker could be married? Well, I have like an actual idea, but I'm not willing to disclose it on the internet. When I could pitch it to Marvel myself, so yeah. But I do have an actual idea of how to organically have like Miles step into the role as being the one and only Spider-Man and Peter take a backseat. I do have an idea of how to do that. On my Hydra comment in the 2010s Marvel, what I meant to say is that I feel like the MCU never allowed Red Skull to embrace his sadistic glory like in the comics, because comic Red Skull could be scary. Comic Red Skull is a monster, but you just can't. This is where comic book movies, because they have to be toy commercials, and because you can't piss off McDonald's in the same way that Batman Returns did, so you have to like appease parents groups, and you have to focus test all your bullshit. Because you have to do all that, you can't have the Red Skull being a baby murderer like he is in the comics. You can't have him gleefully being a Mark Miller villain. You can't have comic Red Skull on the big screen. You just can't do that. It does suck, but it's an impossibility. I mentally blocked out Secret Empire. Wait, why? Wait, no, Secret Empire is good though. What are you talking about? Man, you tripping. Ziggy, you tripping. Ziggy's tripping. We got Peter Parker saving Mayday. From Norman Osborn. You and me both, pal. You and me both. On Nightfall, as acclaimed as that event was, I feel like it was the original sin of big bad events where Bruce gets torn down and the Bat family are divided and all of Gotham City is threatened. Yeah. Yeah. Although, it's kind of weird. It happens over the course of years. Or maybe not years. It just feels like years. Because it feels like you're reading years worth of material in those thick-ass foam book style collections of Nightfall. But it's probably just there were like 10 Batman books coming out at the time, and that's just they're collecting all that material. But yeah, I can definitely see your point. Even though Nightfall does feel considerably more small scale than, say, the entirety of the past 4 Batman runs we've gotten. 4? Wait, okay. Zdarsky's gets pretty big and high concept, and Gotham City gets taken over. Then there's James Tynion. Then there's Tom King, Scott Snyder, and this is Grant Morrison. Yeah, I guess like the past like 5 Batman runs we've gotten feel like Michael Bay's Nightfall. Which in a sentence, that's a sentence in and of itself. But yeah, I do see Nightfall as kind of being the original sin of that, but it also just, I don't know, compared to everything we've gotten over the past like 2 decades, it doesn't feel that bad. William Regal, War Games. God, I liked William Regal as a kid. Maybe it's because I was a contrarian, or am a contrarian, but I always liked William Regal. And he's good on the mic. You know, he's a good commentator as well. Question: what about Scott Snyder's run from the beginning to the end of his New 52 run? Well, I talked about the beginning of New 52. Hit or miss. I don't love Scott Snyder's run on Batman like a lot of other people do. It feels very Grant Morrison light to me. I don't know. I don't like it. What do I think? I do love 0 Year though. 0 Year that's legitimately great though. I love that book. War Games was just bad. Yes, but Grant Morrison fixed it. Grant Morrison fixed it. Bendis ruined everything with Superman. Yeah, but other writers have come in and fixed it since then. Or at least they've made it as fixed as I think it possibly can be at this point. A franchise question. Do you feel certain franchises should have stayed dead and buried? For me, there are only 2 good Terminator films that ended in 1991 for me. I mean, yeah, I do feel that way with franchises. In fact, I feel some franchises shouldn't even be franchises. I think they should have just ended with that first film. Like Terminator. I know that's a hot take. A lot of people love Terminator 2. I think Terminator 2 is one of the greatest action films of all time. Fundamentally breaks the first Terminator film. The first Terminator film is a closed loop. It is a complete story. You don't need anything else after that. Saying that Sarah goes off and gets stuck in a mental institution and then like we do all this other shit where we fix the future, or maybe we don't, maybe we delayed it. Come the fuck on, man. Like, Terminator 2 is the original sin of the Terminator franchise. The only reason we have all these other Terminator films is because of Terminator 2. But yeah, the first Terminator film should have ended there. It's a closed loop. I feel that way with Ghostbusters as well. Ghostbusters, that first film, is it is a satirical commentary on shit, I can't think of the term for it, but like it's when you like corner a niche market, and you're like you like hold a monopoly, it's a satire of like capitalism and holding a monopoly on niche markets. Fuck, there's a more concise way of putting it. I can't think of it right now. 'Cause I'm fucking just tired. But that first film is not what I think a lot of people think of it as. It's not a movie about busting ghosts. It's not an action movie. It's comedy. It's comedy about the horrors of capitalism, but also the horrors of government intervention in the face of short-sighted capitalism. And that's where that movie should have ended. Because now we got dumb shit like the Avengers, but Ghostbusters. And New York is frozen. We have to bust. We have to bust all over New York. When we finish busting, we'll feel good. Jesus fucking Christ. This franchise should have died. What other franchises should have died? Before they even began. Oh, Fast and Furious? We don't need any more after the first 3. Really, the first 2. The first 2 are fine. Well, I guess there's Tokyo Drift. I like Tokyo Drift. But, like, that's fine. That's it. Now they're the Avengers. They're literally driving cars in space. It's gotten... That's jumped the shark already. So, yeah, there's a lot of franchises like that just sort of kept going, and they really shouldn't have. Question, what about Across the Spider-Verse? Because that movie was fantastic. I think it lives or dies with its sequel. Or I guess with the third film in that franchise. That's what's going to determine how I feel about Across the Spider-Verse. I will say visually, it's a stunning masterpiece. It's a tour de force of animation. But outside of that, as a Spider-Man fan, I feel some kind of way about Across the Spider-Verse. What's up, John Ty? How you doing, buddy? Also, Spider-Man isn't going to be a happy-go-lucky Spider-Man. No, it's not. It will not. Play the worst game from 2023. What's the worst game of 2023? I know there was like a zombie game that came out that everyone hated. I mean, that looks awful. I don't want to play that. I really don't want to play that. But you're right. If I'm wrong, if I'm wrong about Ultimate Spider-Man, I'll play the worst game of 2023, if it's still available. Yeah, guys, I don't know. I really do think Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man is gonna... Yeah, if you're going into it thinking that it's gonna be comfy and cozy, Hickman is not a comfy, cozy writer. This is not gonna be a comfy, cozy book. This is gonna be filled with a lot of pain. It's gonna be written very well, though. It's gonna be drawn very well, because it's Marco Cicchetto and Jonathan Hickman, but... Don't look for this family to be intact at the end of this run. Because it will not be. Hey, guys, chill out. It's all good. How does Jim Gordon tolerate the idea of a Robin and a Batgirl, especially after the Killing Joke in Death in the Family. I always wondered about that. Again, just superheroes are a commonality in the DC universe, going back to like World War II. So there's just a lot of conventions that people in the DC universe are just fine with, like child superheroes. Just I feel like Jim Gordon's just like, all right, well that's weird, but whatever. If the Star Spangled Kid can fire machine guns at Nazis, I guess this little boy in showgirls tights can beat up human traffickers on the Gotham docks. Yeah, it's fine. Do you feel superhero stories can handle heavy political charged topics better when it's more of a standalone, out of continuity graphic novel? Nah. I think you can handle those concepts just fine within continuity. I think the problems that arise are when characters are not written with a sense of authenticity, because the writer wants to favor a particular side, or have the protagonist be more aligned with what they think the right political side is. And there's some of that just in comics already. Like, I remember when Bendis took over Daredevil, there's like a little blurb about how the Democratic Party was looking for Matt Murdock to run as like mayor or whatever. I was like, Matt Murdock would never be a Democrat. Just no. He like a Irish Roman Catholic Democrat, New York, Hell's Kitchen. No, he's a Republican. Matt Murdock is a Republican. You might not like it, but given that character, he'd probably be a Republican. Or he'd probably run as an independent party. Then again, I also have a whole thing where I feel like Matt Murdock, after the events of Daredevil Born Again, would not want anything to do with politics. Because he'd see that just everything is rigged and everything's run by crime, so it's no point. I really feel that way with Daredevil post Frank Miller, but I don't know. I guess we just like to pretend that Born Again happened, but also didn't happen. But yeah, I don't know. Beyond that, you also have stuff like Tony Stark's political allegiance flip-flops depending on who the writer supports at any given point in time. Although I do staunchly believe that, like, I think Tony Stark would be a Republican. I think Tony Stark would definitely be a Republican. Comic book Tony Stark. Movie Tony Stark is a Democrat, but like comic book Tony Stark is definitely a Republican. And then you have other characters like Barry Allen is like conservative. Barry Allen is a staunch conservative. That's like canon too. That's like a big part of the Mark Waid run. Barry Allen's just like a Midwestern like cop through and through. He's got red pumping in his veins, so much so that he wears it on his suit. He's a red boy. But Wally's a little more liberal. And like Wally kind of has that like liberal kind of that arc, that shift through the Teen Titans run up through the Wade run on the Flash core title and the Jeff Johns title. So like I don't know. It really just comes down to looking at these characters authentically, putting aside your own personal ideology, and like what you think these characters should be based off what you want to be and how you see yourself. That's what maybe Glenn O'Leary was talking about a couple weeks ago when he did that whole video about characters not being written authentically. That's the real thing. If you want to write politics in comics, but like be authentic to those characters. What would the character believe? Not what do you believe? What does this character believe in? And if there is a conflict between what you believe and what that character believes, then explore that conflict. Put that character in positions where they are tested, but also don't like bully them. That's like one of the big reasons why I feel like the Green Lantern and Green Arrow book, the Hard Traveling Heroes, it just kind of, I don't know. I know it's iconic, but it kind of just feels like Oliver Queen preaching at Green Lantern for like 10 issues. Or however long that book is. I never finished it. I read the beginning of it. I never read the rest of it. It's just everyone like wagging their finger at Hal Jordan for being conservative. It doesn't feel like even-handed to me. And I'm not a conservative guy, but so just I'm reading it going like, I feel like we're ganging up on Hal Jordan here. I don't even like Hal Jordan either. But yeah, Toby says, question, how do you feel about Marvel having Kane and Ben Reilly return in 2024? I don't care. I want them to be dead. I want them to not exist in the current year. How is it 2023 and we're still talking about Kane and Ben Reilly? These characters should have died 20 years ago. Hey, what's up, Emmanuel? What do you think of the Titans replacing the Justice League? You know what? I actually like it a lot. I mean, I'm not reading that Teen Titans book, or it's not Teen Titans, it's just Titans. I'm not reading that book, but conceptually, I think it's a really good move. Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Personally, if the Justice League do return, I would like to see the Justice League be sort of the mythic, larger-than-life team. Like, they don't handle terrestrial threats. They go into, like, deep space, and they stop intergalactic wars, and they do, like, planetary aid. That's what I want to see the Justice League doing. While the Titans are the ones who keep all the Earth stuff running and at bay. That's what I want to see. And I don't know. I think having the Titans sort of replace the Justice League is like, that's the point, right? Like watching the kids grow up and take their parents' place and say, hey, it's okay, we got it. That's the point of the Titans, right? I don't know. I like that idea. Actually, hey, give me a second real quick. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Wait, there we go. Sorry. Forgot I have my clothes in the, I have my clothes in the washing machine. I didn't want them to get mildewy. I hope they don't. But, let's see. Speaking of Secret Empire, how do you feel about Captain Hydra returning in Uncanny Avengers? I think it's stupid. I think it's really stupid. But a lot of that's because I think the ending of Secret Empire is really stupid. I think it could have been really cool, but then it just wasn't. They fumbled the bag on that one. They fumbled hard. Which is unfortunate, because I think that, you know, I think Secret Empire is a really potentially cool idea. I say this as someone who, like, is super tired of, what if Superman was evil? You know? That's a played out concept. You know what's not a played out concept? What if Batman was evil? Because no one's ever done that. No one wants to do evil Batman. But Marvel kind of did evil Batman with evil Captain America. So what if the premier tactical genius was corrupted and took over the world? That's an interesting idea. We finally got that with Secret Empire, and everyone's like, blah, blah, Nazis, blah. Even though Nick Spencer went through a lot of painstaking efforts to, you know, draw the difference between the Nazis and Hydra, but whatever, I guess he's a Nazi, I don't know. Alright, W. Terminator 2 is amazing. I love Terminator 2. It's a great film. Completely breaks the entire canon, though. Like, everything I don't like about Terminator, you can trace back to Terminator 2. On Star Wars long term, do you feel like it should have been, or should have completely ended in 1983? No, because I like the prequel trilogy. I'm selfish. Those are the films I grew up on. I love them, and they're great. I like that they exist. No, Star Wars hot take. Fans complaining about the Ewoks. But my own problem with Return of the Jedi is that there's no arc for Han and Leia. You can tell Harrison Ford is beyond bored at that point. Yeah. That's definitely a problem. He also just wanted to die in the second movie, and they didn't let him die. So now he's just like, oh, I guess I'll keep making these. Before I go to bed, alright, last question. Why do you think Peter Parker is allowed to grow? Why do you think Peter Parker is allowed to grow and move forward in other media while the comics keep not getting the message? Status quo, man. Marvel is in a weird position where the character is too popular and lucrative to outright do away with him, but keeping him around is like also diluting his brand. So Marvel's just in a position where they're not gonna win. They're just not gonna win. They're gonna be fucked either way. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation that they're in. So I don't envy them. I really don't. But basic answer, status quo. And John Ty answers your question. He says status quo. Yep, that's right. On sliding timescale, how do you work with characters that are so tied to real world events like the JSA, Magneto, and the Punisher? Because World War II is nearly 100 years old, yet the JSA are still around. I mean, you can do some stuff like time displacement and stuff like that. I know they kind of did that with Green Arrow in one of the JSA tie-in books, where they say that the Green Arrow that you see on the Justice Society is the same Oliver Queen. It's Roy and Ollie, but they were just like, Clock King did some time bullshit, and now they're actually in World War II, and then they untime fucked themselves, and now they're back in the present, and that's when Ollie got the goatee. So yeah, you can do stuff like that. Magneto has a built-in excuse where there was a point in time where he became a baby and he grew up again. So the Magneto that we're seeing now is not the original Magneto, but actually a man who is the baby clone of the original Magneto. It's weird, but you can get around with that, and you can finagle some of that. But I don't know. Then you just run into some weird, some of the weird stuff where I don't know, Black Widow's around in World War I and World War II. I guess Infinity Formula. I guess we just have to give everyone the Infinity Formula. Or Deathstroke, the Terminator, was a Vietnam War veteran. I know we don't think of Vietnam as being that long ago, but I got some family members who served in Vietnam, and they were not young when they served in Vietnam. Let me just say, I can't see these gentlemen fighting a bunch of teenagers in their current age. So Deathstroke being a Vietnam War vet, same with Frank Castle. You just have to change the war that he's in. John Ty says, has there ever been a deconstruction of a Superman-like character where he's a conservative in the main character? If not, I think that would be a pretty interesting story to be told. Isn't that Icon from Milestone? Yeah, Icon's a staunch conservative. That's like the whole kind of, that's like the schism between Icon and Rocket. Rocket's like the sparky young lefty, and Icon's this like pull yourself up by your bootstraps type conservative. And Rocket's like, not everyone can do that, and he's like, well, I did it. She's like, yeah, but you're also like an alien with the intelligence of like 8 million planets. So like, yeah, of course you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's not that hard. I don't know. I think that dynamic's really interesting. So yeah, Icon and Rocket. That's a pretty good, deconstruction of the Superman archetype. But they make the Superman character conservative. Everyone tries to make Superman conservative in a lot of pop culture media. I just don't see that. I don't see it. Like everyone, like I don't know. People point to the fact that Clark Kent is like from the Midwest that make him conservative, but he's an investigative journalist, and his whole thing is taking down like big corporate entities and like fighting on behalf of like poor people. I don't know. That seems very like bleeding heart lefty. Like Clark, I don't know. Um, I never understand when people try to like make like Clark Kent himself conservative. That's one of those things where it doesn't quite gel. Again, thinking about the characters, it doesn't work. But with Icon, it definitely does work. That's a really good comic. They should. I know DC is putting out these like big milestone collections where it's like, here's the first 6 issues of every book, and then here's the next 6 issues of all the... Nobody wants that shit. Just put out Icon and Rocket, put out Static, put out Blood Syndicate. Just put these books out individually and normally, please. Holy goddamn Christ. It makes recommending these books way easier. God. DC makes no sense when it comes to like some of their printing practices. On the prequel era, as flawed as those movies are, I feel like the expanded stuff that came out in that late era of the franchise is really good. Yeah, a lot of world building is really good there. That's what I think really saved the prequel era. Those movies, I think, are a hard pill to swallow, but the stuff that came out around it had a rich tapestry of lore to pick from, and like flesh out. I'm very curious to see if the sequels have that same luxury, because I feel like the sequels are kind of bare when it comes to like world building. I mean, there's stuff that I think you can make work, but you have to really make it work. The worst case for the sliding timescale stuff in comics are ages in comics. How old is Reed Richards? He should be like 50 or 60 years old, but he still looks the same as he did back in the 1960s. I mean, you can kind of trace it through like Spider-Man and the X-Men. As far as I'm concerned, everything from the 60s up through now has been 20 years. Because everything, well, really, everything from the 60s, everything, okay, 1961 up through 2003 or 4. We know for a fact it is at least 10 years. We know that for a fact. Because in 2004, in Mark Miller and Terry and Rachel Dodson's Marvel Knights Spider-Man, Peter Parker has his 10-year high school reunion. So, Peter Parker is at least 28 in that book. He's at least 28 when that happens. And if Peter Parker's 28, that means the X-Men are, again, at least 28. And that's in 2004. Okay? Now, also, this is where things get a little tricky and weird. The Runaways are in high school around that same time period. And now, the Runaways are in their early 20s. So, they're at least 5 to 6 years have passed. So, Peter Parker, lowballing it, is 33. Peter Parker and the X-Men are like in their early to mid 30s. Like, that's, I don't know. So at least 15 years have passed, being very generous. I mean, in my headcanon, it's been 20 years, but like it's been 15 years, being, because American comics editors are afraid of people hitting 30 for some reason. But at least 28. So that's the I don't know, that's the conservative estimate that I can give you. So if Reed was like, I don't know, again, conservatively speaking, 30 in the first issue of Fantastic Four, then he's at least 45 now. Also, on the prequel trilogy, do you feel those movies would have been better if Spielberg directed them? Crystal Skull is not good, but I feel like Spielberg is still better at working with actors. I could see that. And then making, like, tiny little rewrites here and there with the script. Like, tweaking dialogue a little bit. Yeah, I could definitely see that working. Golden Age Superman is a hard lefty. Yes, he is. The first thing to describe Golden Age Superman is the idea of being a champion of the oppressed. Yes. What kind of political leaning would 616 Peter have? Would he be more lefty or more conservative, especially if you compare Ditko Peter to poster me to senior Peter? I think Peter's changes from like time to time. I think Peter Parker starts off in high school as being, I could see Peter being like a reactionary conservative. Like I see young Peter Parker as being like a Ben Shapiro fan. You know? I could totally see a young Peter Parker like really being into Ben Shapiro. But as he gets older, he like kind of falls out of it. I don't quite see Peter Parker ever going full on like well, I don't know. I think working at the Daily Bugle would definitely give Peter a lot of leftist views. But I never see him being a full-on like hard lefty. Because he does have like a lot of like deeply ingrained sort of old world values. Because Aunt May and Uncle Ben were like considerably older when they were raising him, so I do see Peter Parker having like some, like a lot of just built-in conservative mindsets. But yeah, no, I see Peter as being kind of like adult Peter, being sort of center left, but definitely starting off as like hard right. What are your favorite comics, be it miniseries or runs, that you've read this year? Alright, well, I mean, I'm gonna do a whole recap video at some point in the near future. But absolutely loved World's Finest. Loved Philip Kennedy Johnson and Daniel Sampieri's Action Comics. So far, I've been loving Batman Gargoyle. Like, nobody's talking about that book, but that book is amazing. It's really good. I really like Green Arrow. Green Arrow's really good. I'm just happy that we have a Green Arrow book now. I'm trying to think, what other, like, new things that have been coming out that I'm reading. Because I'm like, focusing on a lot of older stuff right now. But, let's see. Daredevil. That wrapped up earlier this year by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. That was fantastic. Spider-Man The Lost Hunt, beautiful. Shit, I'm trying to think what else. Because there was a lot that came out this year that was really good. Trying to think, did Fantastic Four Life Story come out this year? No, it's 2022. Okay, never mind. I did like Superman Space Age. That was really fun. I liked Aquaman Andromeda quite a bit, although I think that was also 2022. No, it's 2023. Yeah. Aquaman Andromeda, really good. So yeah, dude, there are a lot of good books that came out this year, man. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint just one that I liked, but yeah, or just like name a couple. I don't know. A lot came out that was high quality this year. Venom. It still blows my mind that I'm putting Venom on my list of must read, like top coveted books. Insane to me, because Venom's normally just dog shit. But yeah, Venom was also great. Yeah, no, a lot of great books came out this year. Supreme says, why do I get the feeling MJ is a lot more progressive than Peter, considering she is an actor and model? Probably popular with the gays. Dude, MJ is very popular with the gays. Absolutely, sweetheart. Dude, yeah, no. Well, she's in the arts. You know, she's an actress. She's a model. Like, yeah, she's MJ is 1,000,000% like far more liberal than Peter is. Way more. John Ty says, top 5 favorite runs are Action Comics, Wonder Woman by Tom King, Detective Comics by Ram V, The Hulk by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Yes! Hulk by Philip Kennedy Johnson. That book's also fantastic. And Ryan North's Fantastic Four, which I haven't read myself, but the covers by Alex Ross have just been superb. So yeah, guys, a lot of great books have come out this year, and a lot of like great books came out this week. These are 3 of the ones that I got. The only reason I missed The Flash is because I thought I had it, but I didn't, and I don't know, I missed out, but I'm just gonna pick it up tomorrow at work. Here's just a weird little dark horse. I see this whole timeless crap, and I'm like, this looks like boo boo. I don't care. Nobody cares about timeless. But I read this, and it was like actually amazing. This was by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, with art by Juan Cabal. I don't know those names. Well, no, I know Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly from their Captain America books, which were also really good. Dude, these are some like great comics. And this one in particular was like really dope. So definitely pick up Timeless #1. And I don't know, man. I thought this was great. But yeah, I'm gonna log off at the 2-hour mark. Thanks for coming by, guys. It's always a pleasure to have y'all show up, and we talk about comics, and it's fun. So yeah, I will catch y'all in the next one. I'm probably gonna start doing that live Let's Play that y'all voted on early next year. I was gonna try to do it like effective immediately, but no, early next year sounds good. There was I don't know. I might end up redoing it though, because I forgot to put in Daredevil, not Daredevil, the Deadpool game. I do want to play that for you guys because that was a fun game, but I feel like the poll's already set, so I'll just play Deadpool after I play Spider-Man. I don't know, whatever. But in the meantime, thanks for coming by, and Happy New Year. Yeah, because next time I stream it's gonna be 2024. So yeah, see you guys in the new year. Hasta la vista, hasta la pasta, hasta luego. Good night, goodbye, God bless, may the force be with you. Adios, nachos, adios.